That Chip and Max Show, we back in the building. I'm your boy, Chippy in the North.
I'm J. McDougal, aka Mac, and today we're going to talk about, I'm going to let Chip do the introduction, that's the guy.
Listen, y'all know how we coming, y'all know what's up with us. We talking about what happens after the litness, after the cuffs. What's up after the cuffs?
Yeah. So, generally, after the cuffs is always life, right? If you don't have life. So the moral of the story is that I want to ask you, because this is the most important part a lot of people don't know.
Well, let's let them know what we mean when we say after the cuffs.
Oh, after you come home from jail. Or right. If you get a chance to come home from jail.
If you get a chance. If you make it. You might not make it.
You may not make it, bro. Well, whatever. But the moral of the story, but let's talk about the process of being prosecuted. I want to touch on that. The economical aspect of how much it costs to retain a lawyer and what's retainer fees.
Do y'all really understand the financial obstacles that you literally are gonna have to overcome after the cuffs? Now the cuffs don't mean the cuffs in the courtroom. I'm talking the cuffs when they done ran up in your house and your chick ass naked and they make them put on a soggy ass Summer Jam t-shirt.
Or no t-shirt, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Technically. Score y'all out, you know what I'm saying?
You and your Hanes drawers with the, you know what I mean? With
the droopy ones.
The droopy. You dirty vibe. Yo, but hold on real quick. Let me just ask you, my first question is, right, just to give people a perspective on how severe this shit is when you're dealing with the street. Because you gotta have lawyer money, right? Imagine this situation, right? Imagine
you're supposed to have lawyer money.
Well, hopefully you do. If you don't, just go get a job at McDonald's.
It's gonna go bad for you.
It's gonna go bad for you because the state gonna represent the state to beat the state. Yeah, we'll get into that. But let me ask you, because I know generally we all had situations. How much did your lawyer cost?
Yo, I'm gonna be real, right? My first lawyer was Paul Berglund. Paul Berglund, good old Paul.
Paul got you off.
Paul got me off.
Paul get you
off.
Paul
ain't play. You know what I'm saying?
Paul ain't fuck around.
I got probation. Okay. Right? They ain't get me off, got probation.
Typical Essex County shit.
Right. For
a chopper.
Yeah, I was
for a stick.
A nice stick
shot.
too.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Generally in Essex County,
New Jersey.
Essex County, Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, not Newark. Newark.
I said Newark. That's what we call it, Elizabeth. We call that shit Newark. So the moral story, generally in Newark, you could get away with everything. You know, the city's so fucking big. I don't know, money talk, bullshit walk, right? But if you go to a city like Elizabeth, you get caught with anything.
Union County.
You're gone. You're gone.
Hang them high.
Hang them high and never come in low. But the moral story is, how much did it cost you to get probation with Paul at that time?
This was, I'm about to tell my age. This was 1998.
98, okay.
That jump ran me about 3,500.
That's not bad. 3,500 back then with inflation.
98 was about 8,000 now.
I say around 13,000.
You think so?
Possibly.
Okay,
about like 13,000.
Well, you know, you're the finance man, so
inflation. Yeah, we have been inflated a few years. So 13,000 cost you 13,000.
Paul got me off.
Paul got you off, right? 13,000, right? So today's, what you think will be a retainer fee for?
Oh no, I'm gonna tell you right now. I got caught up in something, right? It's a thing called accomplice liability.
Okay.
Well, a lot of people don't know what that is. Accomplice liability. That's when somebody committed a crime, right?
Okay.
And you had knowledge of it. And what a lot of people don't know is that it's just civil duty that when a person commits a crime as a law-abiding citizen, you're supposed to report it. And if you don't, and that person is apprehended on an arrest warrant and you're in close proximity to them, you can be charged with accomplice liability. And I got charged with accomplice liability in a Bergen County court case.
Okay.
That case ran me in excess of I had one of the top-notch attorneys coming out of Bergen County.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Kevin Rowe.
Yes.
Kevin Rowe. Kevin Rowe get busy.
Kevin Rowe get busy. And let me tell you this, right? What a lot of people mess up on. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but this is just a little bit of game, right? Generally, people go get the lawyers that's from that county, right? Because them the individuals that have the
play in that
relationships.
backyard.
They play in that backyard. And what I see a lot of people go wrong, you'll go get your lawyer from where you from
County
and bring him over there.
He ain't got no pull over there.
He ain't got no pull over there.
He ain't got no pull over there.
He do not eat lunch with those
exactly.
individuals.
And generally, when you coming out of law school or you in law school and you doing a lot of your internships, you working
that's good
at
money.
the county court building, you working with judges, you working in the back in the chambers with them.
You pretty much working where you gonna lay your hat at.
Right,
like,
right,
yeah,
right,
where you
right,
gonna
right,
hang your
right.
hat at, that's generally
So
where you working
that's
at.
where your lawyer formulate these bonds with them.
Okay.
And they get these relationships with them.
Yes.
And that's why you want that lawyer that's from that county that got that pull in that county, right? You don't want to come get nobody to come play me in football in my backyard.
Correct.
He don't.
Let me ask you this question, not to cut you. Do you think, it's a hypothetical question, we don't know, do you think some lawyers get promoted to success based off of the relationships they have?
Hell yeah, it's all about who you know, especially in that world. Okay. It's all about who you know. And a lot of times, in my personal opinion, lawyers swap out. They'll swap you out.
They'll swap people out. Like,
yeah, they swap
get
people
him,
out.
he paid me more.
Right, yeah,
I guess
swap them out.
who else got the biggest bank account?
Right,
at that,
right. You,
with a
your
bag
lawyer
in your
swap
case.
you out. My opinion.
I think
Not
everybody
fact.
opinion, because some people just get just shit into the stick for no
Like my
reason.
father always told me, there's 3 people you only see when you need them. And you in a worse situation when you see them because you need them. A lawyer, a doctor, and a motherfucking mechanic. He said them the 3 worst people that you could deal with.
Well, I think you deal with a mechanic more than anybody.
Right, but
you be
you
getting
only see a
robbed.
mechanic when you need them.
You be getting robbed.
Robbed.
But all right, so with that being said, right, so you got caught up by being trying to perceive to be willfully ignorant.
Right.
Willfully
There definitely
ignorant.
was.
So he was trying to be willfully ignorant, because it's the code. The code is to be willfully ignorant.
Right.
Meaning, what that means is that I'm gonna play dumb. I don't know what the fuck he got going on, but that's my man.
Right, and that's exactly what I did. I don't do nothing.
Yeah,
whatever.
But willful ignorance isn't a virtue anymore. Meaning that they like, yo, fuck it, we taking everybody and let y'all figure that out when y'all get there.
And this is what y'all gotta understand, right? Everybody go now. This ain't like back in the day when they come, it's like, oh yeah, all this mine, and they go, nah, they ain't doing that no more.
No.
Grandma Ethel going.
Gotta go.
Blind ass Uncle Junior in the back room that they ain't been outside in like 8 years. He going. They take them kids going to the Division of Youth and Family Services. Anything of any value in that house, they taking that shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what it is. They coming for that shit.
PlayStations, everything.
They taking everything. Anything that's of importance to you, passports, birth certificates, social security cards, they gonna flush that shit down the toilet.
Yeah, they gonna make it. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, being in a raid before, it's not good. It's so degrading. It's such a degrading situation.
This is the part
that nobody talks about.
Right, and in the rap, especially because music kind of dictate the
narrative.
The narrative of our culture, right?
Yeah.
They not rapping about that. They ain't rapping about when they came in the house, your girl was ass naked, and that the cops that was issuing the arrest warrant pinched her nipple.
I mean, or smacked the ass down.
And this is what's really going on. They ain't telling how they had you and your lady next to each other and made her take all her clothes off to check her.
Yeah, bend over and cough.
They not telling y'all that though. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this is what we saw when we say after the cuffs.
Okay, after the cuffs. After the cuffs, there's a lot of stuff going on prior to your arrangement, right? So let me ask you this: did your lawyer promise you a win or promise you anything?
Nah, because I was already well diverse about law. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't finesse me like that.
So what you mean you was well diverse? So you was in the law library?
Yeah, hell yeah. I ain't play that shit. When I did my little stint, I stayed in there. I ain't play that.
Somebody sent you because in the law library you got to get a special you get special law books because law.
Right, but I would read. I would just read up on case law. Like if I had a bunkie and he was in a situation, I would go down there to the law library and read up about his kind of case.
Okay.
Like that's what I did with my time. I self-educated myself on a plethora of different things because I knew I never wanted to be in a position again where I made a decision and I didn't understand the ramifications of it.
Okay.
I feel as though that's why a lot of people tell.
Because
they did something, but they ain't really know the consequences of what they was doing. So if I'm gonna go rob banks, right?
Okay.
Before I go rob a bank, I'm gonna find out how much time you get.
You could get, yeah.
For doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before I go and sell this or sell that, I'm gonna find out how much time I get. Because now I did what? Mentally, I trained myself for what I'm about to be faced with.
So you saying you do, in retrospect, you do your due diligence. You dig to see what type of dirt you gonna put on your back.
When
right?
I was in
you did
prison,
your due diligence?
I did my due diligence, and I decided that me being knee deep, that shit wasn't for me. Because everything I was reading was like jail. Again.
Yeah.
For a long ass time. I couldn't do it. I was tired of doing push-ups by the toilet.
Yeah.
I was tired of being in the day room and we outside the day room for 2 hours. As soon as we get in the room, my bunkie told me, so you gotta take a shit.
So you got to put your
exactly. I couldn't do that shit no more.
You got to put your blinds up, right?
Right.
And what was your blinds? Towels, right? Towels
and
blinds,
sheets.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
And old sheets from the bunkie that left prior to
with no air circulation, smelling doo-doo and shit.
Right. Nah, see, look, that couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. That's a lot. So the moral of the story is this, right? Let me ask you this. But with that being said, would you think when people don't know the ramifications, I know that's when they tell, because then that's when things get real.
That's one of the things.
I think that's primary. Don't get it twisted, because everybody wants to do crime, but
because
don't want to do.
Because you don't be never seeing niggas when they get caught. Perfect example. No names. We chilling. We get pulled over. Dude, when we got a gun on him, right? I don't know he got the gun on him. Literally, I do not know he got the firearm on him. When they pull him out the car, the fucking firearm slides down his leg and it comes out.
Oof.
Right? They lock us all up. They take us to the precinct. I don't have nothing on me. I didn't have anything on me. Wasn't committing a crime at the time. He had the firearm. This nigga was in the holding cells crying.
Okay. Bad situation.
Literally crying. Like, yo, don't leave me here. Y'all gonna come bail me out, right? Oh, wait a minute. You just was Animal Thug about an hour ago.
I'm gonna say this, right? Crime don't pay, and if you do play, you gotta pay. If you do play, you have to pay. But let me say this, right? Let me just give y'all the whole perspective on what we're trying to hit home. The moral of the story is that you have way more options to be in that situation. It's critical, right? And nobody talks about the longevity of the chaos that you're going to have to go through to get that $10 that you're making, right? Because I think today's, whatever you got going on. But let me ask you this too before obviously, I just want to ask this. The lawyer didn't promise you anything, and you said you was versed on it, right? You was versed on the law. But my thing is that, right? So what you was telling the lawyer, the way you wanted to go about it at that point?
No, I pretty much came up with my own defense. What was my defense? And with a lawyer can't help you when you lie to him. That's number one. So you got to deal with a lawyer that you could trust, because you got to tell him the truth.
You got to be transparent.
You sitting up there lying to him. It's not your lawyer's job to prove that you didn't do something. It lies on the prosecutor to prove that you did that.
Okay.
And your lawyer is supposed to counteract whatever they trying to prove. It ain't my job to prove I didn't do something. It's your job to prove I did it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? That's normally how the law goes, from my personal experiences.
Okay, so that's why they said possession is 9/10 of the law.
Right.
Okay, possession in any capacity, meaning that getting caught in the act or having somebody.
But
I think possession rolls down multiple ways, meaning that a person told the situation.
Right.
So this possessed that to happen.
But it's different forms of possession. It's physical possession. It's constructive possession.
Okay.
So constructive possession means you was in the vicinity of that. Constructive possession.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they can prove that. It's not difficult for them to prove that.
Now let's switch gears with this real quick, and this is something that a lot of people know. Have you ever seen a person that was getting all the money come up in court with a public defender?
Hell yeah. Because they got blitzed. Once they got blitzed, they took everything. So you end up in there with a PD.
Okay, you end up with a PD.
But and the dudes that I know was pretty much smart, and they always kept something on retainer. That's how a lot of dudes I know that was moving at when they got blitzed, you might have got hit for 100, 250, but they had 30 part with their lawyer, and they had a relationship with their lawyer. So that was like kind of like their man in a sense. Okay. You know what I mean?
So hold on, real quick. So they take everything, right? You end up with a PD. A PD is a public defender, right? And a lot of people don't know a public defender is financed through the state.
A public pretender.
So
that's what they call them.
This individual is funded through the state, right? You're going against the state. And this individual...
He's getting his check comes from the state.
His check comes from the
state. So he ain't on your side.
So he's not on your side, right? All the money, like, listen.
No, well, you know what? Let's recant that statement.
Okay, go ahead.
A high percentage of them are not on your side.
I'm gonna say all of them. There's no way.
But that's not fair because
I
know a public defender. I know a prominent attorney right now that was a public defender.
Okay.
And he was in his best interest was in the interest of his clients.
Correct. But
that was one I knew, so we can't say all.
99% of them, right? 99%, bro. Get this straight. Whoever cut your check, whoever cut your check and that name is on that check and it says the state, best believe they're going to be loyal to that check.
Opinion.
It's a strong opinion. I'm telling you, if I write you a check, all right, let's put it like this. You are my employee. I write you a check. You go against me. Your ass is fired. Done. We're done here. And the thing is that I'm not saying they're bad. They're servants, right? They're individuals who are supposed to represent you and get you into a better situation.
Did a public defender get you jammed up?
No, but
going hard on y'all.
But it's just, I never had a public defender.
But you
personally.
knew.
I just knew not to go there with even for. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I wouldn't go to court with a public defender for a traffic ticket.
Nah, I'm telling you.
At this point in my life, I stopped. Like, bro, you will get smoked.
I don't
it's
go.
No.
I vowed to myself, right, when I first ended up having to do a prison sentence. I vowed to myself. I promised myself I would never be in a court setting ever again without private counsel. I don't give a fuck what I'm going to court for. I could be going to court for a traffic ticket, child support, a civil case.
Whatever the situation is.
Man, I don't care what I'm going to court for.
But what I was trying to get at, which is right, but what I'm saying is that, let me just backtrack on this before we lose this content, right? The content of the story, what I'm saying is that you got to understand, they get paid by the state, right? They go pick up their checks from the courthouse, right? And the thing is that you got to look at survival, right? It's the same way you trying to survive. It's the same way they trying to survive. So let's say a public defender in a big county, like let's say Essex County.
Or Kings County.
Or King, or whatever. Let's say they got 60 cases, right? Let's say they got 60 individuals that they need to represent. What would make you think you were going to get a free shot, right? And let's say they're making $25 an hour. They got 60 cases. All y'all look the same. Everybody's a number.
Yep.
And everybody.
And it's definitely a numbers game.
This is what the prosecutor tell him from the rip. This is what we offer him. So give this to him. And it's a process. So this was the process. I talked to them. I tried to help you out as best I can. They said this.
It's basically the slaughterhouse. You know what they take the cows to?
It's called the kettle call.
They get them in and get it out.
Chop. So the moral story is that, and these individuals, if I'm smart, which I feel like I am, I know I am, I've been told that many times.
That light skin shit.
I've been told that plenty of times, time and time again. Somebody always tell me I'm like, the most educated person he met. Right? So the moral story is this, right? So if I'm a public defender, my whole objective is to get on the other side of the aisle, right? Because that's when you get a career, right? You get to career when you start working with, start working with the prosecutor. So now I ain't got to deal with the criminals. I'm going out. I can really go out to eat with these individuals that's eating at all the restaurants surrounding the courthouse for free. Like, cause don't think that it's not perks coming as a prosecutor. You eat everywhere for free. Everybody know, especially if you're in a city like Newark or Elizabeth, Camden, wherever may have you, Detroit, and you're in a high profile, like crime rated city, everybody know who's the prosecutor.
Right.
Like, that's like a badge of honor. Like, yo, that's the prosecutor right there. You're walking around eating for free. It's impossible. I don't care if you go to Chick-fil-A. They're gonna feed you for free. But the moral story is this. No, I haven't seen a lawyer promise anybody anything, and it's such a financial commitment you need to make from being in the street that if somebody get locked up, I don't know if they still use the bail system, you got to make sure they get bailed out, right? So then it's like you get bailed out, you take a loss, you got to hurry up and get him out, and then if an individual is younger, I've seen this happen too, an individual younger, their mother will come to court, their mother never gave them or nothing, but their mother gonna tell them what they gonna tell them. You telling on that boy, son. You ain't do that. You a good kid. And then this be the worst people, right? So the mother get the son to tell on them. Now everybody going to jail for something that one person did. It's a whole cluster, right? So the other question I have for you in regards to that, because obviously I know this came across, and sometimes we always be in a situation because, you know, from a culture perspective, I asked this question, have you ever seen a public? So after you go to jail, right, you submit, you do all that. After you go to jail, have you ever seen a person not able to come home because they didn't have an address to go to? Meaning that, you know how you be paroled?
Yeah, not in Jersey really, because they send you to the halfway back program.
They send you to the halfway back.
Yeah, not in Jersey. Like they always got somewhere for you to go.
But I
a shelter. They always, because once your time
But
up,
not on parole though. On parole you have to have an address.
Yeah, they'll send you to a shelter or halfway back. Now, that's how they do it.
Because they got more resources to do that.
Right. You definitely going to a halfway back or a shelter. That ain't no problem. Oh, they getting you out. They getting that bed open. Oh, you getting
For
about
another
there.
person? You think so?
Hell yeah. They don't give a fuck if you ain't got nowhere to parole. Oh, you need someone to get the parole to? Halfway back.
So it's kind of like you're still in jail though. Halfway back is still in jail, right?
Not if you're on parole. It's a curfew and stuff like that. Okay. But you still.
You just got to just be inside this house by 7 o'clock.
Right.
You can still go out and indulge.
You got to do all that. So that's definitely you
program is what? NAAA stuff like that.
Whatever program focus on the victim, whatever.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They definitely getting you up out of that jail though. Oh, you getting out of there? Ain't no money on you sitting in here. No, we gotta get the next one in here.
Yeah, because the next one is coming.
Right.
So I think we kind of touched on everything.
Now one of the things that I wanted to get with is the importance of y'all understanding how snitching go. Because this is the after the cuffs, right? So this is episode, we talking about after the cuffs. A lot of times you want to feel like, how the fuck I get caught? They told. That's how, I tell you.
Or you told on yourself these days.
No, they told. Somebody told. It's never a situation now, the way that the law enforcement don't do nothing.
They don't work, no.
They don't do nothing. They work off of what? Snitches, stool pigeons, rats.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Confidential informants.
Confidential informants. Let me explain something to y'all. Before a state prosecutor, right, will reveal his snitch, he will dismiss the charges against you.
Oh, I never heard that before. That's deep.
Yes, they will.
Because they work in multiple cases. They work in multiple cases that they got them on the hook already.
They send a confidential informant who works for them to go make a drug, if you're a drug dealer. They send them to purchase drugs from you. Not once, not twice. They make sure they do it multiple times. And what happens when they send that person to buy drugs off of you? You sell it to them. They exchange currency for drugs. They let the confidential informant more times than not keep the drugs, right?
To go do what he was going to do anyway.
Why they let him keep the drugs? They don't give a fuck about the drugs. They just want to record the transaction.
That's it.
They use the recording of that transaction, whether it be verbally, videotape, whatever, and they take that to a judge. Whichever judge that they cool with, whatever judge they went to his kid's bar mitzvah, whatever judge he played a couple holes of golf with, that's what they do. They take it to their favorite judge. Hey, judge, let me get a what? An affidavit. I need an affidavit. Affidavit is you need an affidavit for an arrest warrant. And I got this affidavit of arrest warrant, right? Because I got this good ass stool pigeon I got. He bought some coke off this fool 4 times. And every time we used him in a case, he produced us dividends.
A conviction.
Every time, right? So the judge ain't gonna even look at it. He gonna say, you know what? Y'all always do y'all thing. He gonna sign it. Guess what? They gonna come kick your fucking door in, right? Based upon what? That affidavit.
Okay.
That Bureau of Narcotics detective or whatever he was produced to that judge, right?
Okay.
And guess what he ain't gonna do? When they come in there and find them guns and them drugs and that money in your house while your chick sitting up there ass naked and your kids in there crying, right? When they find all them drugs and stuff, guess what's gonna be on your charges? Everything but them undercover sales you made. Because why?
Because they don't want him on the case. Oh, I didn't know they was moving like that now. That's smooth. That's a different type.
You will not get charged with the sales for the undercover because what's your on one of your amendment rights? To be able to face your accuser.
Yes.
But if we don't charge you with those undercover sales, you don't got to face no accuser.
So affidavit is just the intent of thinking that this person is doing this.
Yep.
Okay. So it's
and
not
they go off
so
of
it's not particularly he's doing this. We think he's doing
this.
this.
No, we know we doing it because this is what I snitch. We sent them in there. We sent him in, coach. Put him in the game. He ripped his little. He went in the game. He did his J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you see J.R. Smith on his. You see J.R. Smith on his.
Right, he on his shit. Yeah, he got his shit together. I swear to God, that's what good weed do for you. I tell you.
Good weed. He smokes some good weed.
But this is what y'all don't understand. And now this is me educating y'all. This is us educating y'all. This is that Chip and Mac show educating y'all.
That's deep, though.
This is what happens. You will not ever see that control by on your indictment. It won't be up there like, yo, it'll say the date that you did it, but they ain't charging you with that. They charged you with what they found in your house, dumbass.
So if they don't find nothing in the house, no face, no case?
It's over.
But that's it's just so tough.
But
that's a tough situation for people to avoid.
But what happens with the normal, you got something in there.
Okay.
You got something in there. You got a gun in there. You got something in there. You got some money in there. You got some rollies in there. You got some. They gonna
so
come out.
So they taking all that.
They taking that
stuff.
They taking that. They taking that.
So the confiscation is pretty much they're looking for things that
they taking them cars. They taking them cars.
I think they take the cars to the precinct, but the rollies and the money they're taking at home.
Them cars. They taking them cars. The prosecutor gonna put a hold on it. Hopefully the bank gonna come back and get the car. They gonna make the bank buy the car back off them.
Word?
They gonna make the pay the storage fee for that car. Hell yeah, that car still financed. They gonna make the bank pay the storage fee. They gonna tie the car up in paperwork for about 6 months. That 6 months gonna come up to $8,000. The bank gonna have to pay to get that car out. But the bank ain't paying that. Guess what? That's going on your bill.
That's going on your bill, your credit.
On your credit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get their money.
Or her credit.
Or her credit.
You know y'all niggas don't do right.
Or grandma credit.
Yeah, don't put the car in.
Ava Lou name.
No, man. Don't
put it in Ava Lou name.
Put grandma in it, man. I think the worst thing people do, they implement people into their shit, right? So I know the prior code of the street was the less people know, the best they know, right? But I think with these days and time, everybody rushing to be something and nobody really know the rules and what they're in. Because the street has had a lot of unwritten rules, but what I've seen, rules, there was this invisible rules, right? So anytime, it's like being on the field, right? Anytime you're on an uneven field, generally things are going to change. And you're prone to lose because the field is uneven. It's rigged against you. You know what I mean? So with the streets, how I feel personally, it's always been rigged against you to stop you from being great and doing other things, right? But the moral story is that this is what's been perpetuated to us in regards to not to say I'm not like conspiracy theories. This is just the reality. They ain't turned the ghetto into the ghetto for no reason, right? So it was a survival tactic at one point. Now I don't think it's a survival tactic. I think it's a oblivious and a delusional tactic to think that you can win at something that's been rigged against you because they have everything in their favor. Like they only got to catch you once, but you got to sell drugs every day.
Right.
Right. So imagine this.
At the end of the day, the deck stacked against you. Right. Let's just be reality of the shit. Stop letting this goofy shit dictate how y'all moving. Trapping, hustling, supposed to be a fucking secret. They ain't supposed to know that you selling drugs. All right? It ain't cool for motherfuckers to know that you selling drugs. Y'all gotta, not saying, I'm not no advocate for hustling, I'm not no advocate for selling drugs, I'm not no advocate for none of that. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of indicating though, bro. It's just like, generally people tell on themselves, like don't get it twisted. Shit happens, right? So I'm saying everybody know your business, right? Damn, like if your girl mad at you, women shouldn't know your business either because when they get mad at you, they're telling. Like you think a woman to tell another woman on like, yo, yeah, he fucking me?
Listen,
what you
I've
think?
seen niggas, chicks, be in a, what y'all gotta understand is this. Yeah, I know there's a such thing called third party cooperation, right? You know about it. You ever heard of it?
Bro, you deep into the shit to a point where I ain't that deep.
You know what that
like
is?
That.
You know that chick that she lit as hell on IG. She got a check next to her name, right? Bitch lit. Ooh, shit.
What's the check? The blue check?
The blue check. Right? She verified, right? But guess what? That bra working with the boys. She third party telling. She trying to get her dude what? A downward departure. A downward departure means get his time reduced significantly. And guess what she doing? She out here playing with all y'all.
Yo, so you think chicks will really do that for a nigga that's locked up?
They're doing it. And if she doing it.
I just think it's a code. That's too much.
No, listen to what I'm telling you.
That's chess, bro.
They get paid for that. Do you not know and understand that when a person tips off a federal agent, right?
Okay.
That let's say you got $1 million in your house.
Okay.
And I'm working with the feds. You know I could get 20% of that?
That's just a lot. I don't see how you can win in that capacity.
No,
it's just
that's
tough.
working.
I'm not talking about the individual who's telling. I'm talking about the individual who's committing these acts.
No, listen. They have people in place that's out here mixing it up with all y'all, right? Third party telling. Ray get bagged. His girl want him to come home. They gonna look at her and tell her, go get her some fish.
Okay.
She gonna do it. She want her nigga home. She's gonna do it.
You think women down with dudes like
Hell yeah. They telling together. They a team. We a team, Craig.
I don't know, man. That's broad, bro.
But definitely, it's not broad. It's actual fact.
I'm just in a different. I guess my climate is a lot. I don't know. Like that's a lot to have to.
I sat back and I watched dudes go through it. Like,
I didn't watch that. I kind of like never paid it. You definitely shining a lot of light on the difficulties.
It get deep.
It get deep, and I don't think my thing is that. I don't know if you can think that deep if you're impaired every day, right? Because generally, obviously, if you're in the streets, you're going to smoke a little weed, you're going to drink a little alcohol. It's impossible. I never seen a street sober nigga. You know what I mean? It's just not happening. So that's a lot, right? That's a lot to just take in.
That's a lot.
That's a lot to take in. And
that's why it's so easy for people to get apprehended when they doing what they're doing.
It's just too easy. It's too easy. I don't see, it's just so many ramifications on so many angles, right? It's something called ad angles when you're running an ad, right? So let's say, right, I have an ad and I want to run 4 angles. So I have the same copyright, right? But I have 4 ways to deliver it to people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's saying like one person is doing one thing, but they got 10 ways to get you. Like, it's just almost impossible.
You cannot. They get behind y'all. Y'all get these cars. They get behind y'all. They outside like anybody else. They run your plate. They take your plate down. They take it back. They run it through the ringer. They want to find out about your finances. They want to find out about this. They want to find out about that. It's easy. Just that simple. Oh, you got the new Trackhawk. You doing your thing. Yo, you got the new wide body cat. Yo, you doing your thing. Guess what? He was sitting right there. what is a Mary hoodie on? What is a Mary's? And he had some Yeezys on.
Yeah,
and he took your plate number down.
They fly like you too.
They took your plate number down. When they went back to the office, they ran your plate. Oh, the car ain't in my name though. Okay, cool. They gonna go through all your financial records.
Yeah,
anybody who call that name in, they going through all that shit. And it's that easy. Y'all gotta stop thinking that something new under the sun. Ain't shit new under the sun. You ain't doing nothing different.
So let me ask you. So from a financial perspective, what we try to home on, is it worth it? I'm just asking. Is it worth it from a financial perspective? You think right now, like just to be indulgent?
It depends what you in it for.
I don't know.
What's important to you?
But the thing is, Chip, what I'm saying is that I just need you to narrow it down a little bit. Is it yes or no? Is it worth it? Because what you just laid out, that's a lot for a common person.
I'm gonna keep it real, right? I don't think so.
Okay, I can go with that.
Because most of y'all out here getting money to do what?
To go to the mall.
To get chicks.
To get chicks, yeah.
Cornball Jamal, when y'all go to jail, he going knee deep. he balls deep.
I think this, and this is in closing, right? Me and my wife was talking about this, right? A young girl was like, yo, I don't think a 9-to-5 dude is good for me.
She say that now. Let her get about 36 with 2 kids, about 2 different niggas.
So that's why. But also, what I was saying is that our horizon is so short, meaning that that's all people see, right? And this is why I think individuals, like I was saying before, enter into this because she might be the cutest motherfucker in the world. So in order to get this cute ass girl to have on your to have as your arm piece, right?
Right.
You got to go get into some shit that you really don't know about, right? So now you go get it because majority of the time we all know niggas that's not from, you know what I mean, obviously from your part of town. Let's say a nigga come up from West Orange, right?
Right.
Y'all bring a nigga to West Orange to the Spires, nigga. That nigga loose as a goose, right? But he don't really know the ramifications that come with this shit. You do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He never seen a nigga splatter. You did. You know, so you could stomach some shit, right? So you go get this nigga from West Orange come down, trying to be down. Now he get popped, right? He get popped and his whole... He telling. But his whole gist to do that is because he wanted Tina from Spires, because Tina the baddest thing in the world, right? But the moral story is that I think the most part, why I think is a total con, is because it's too much against you. You know what I mean? It's
definitely too much against you. The risk don't match the reward.
The risk don't match the reward, and how you broke it down in regards to you can't even bring your accuser to the courtroom no more because they found the don't get it twisted.
It's a loophole. It's definitely a loophole.
They found the loophole as if they was the criminal.
But they create the loopholes.
Okay.
They create them. Like they are the grand wizards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that.
The rules of the game is not going to change. You have to change the way you play the game. In the NFL, you can't hit nobody with the crown of your helmet.
No more.
Right?
Yeah.
They ain't saying you can't hit them. So what did the defensive backs and the linebackers have to do?
You gotta adapt.
Change the way they play the game.
Yeah, that's tough.
Y'all not changing the way y'all play the game. Y'all still playing by the old rules. You can't hit the kicker. You can't hit the punter. You can't come nowhere near his planted foot. Y'all still playing the game the same way. That's why they keep losing.
I mean, and I'm gonna say this in closing. My personal opinion, I think you have you just gotta understand the financial ramifications that comes with this, right? And generally, a lot of y'all not balling. No shade, I'm not knocking you. You could be great at something else. Sometimes we get into situations, because I know I've done it. You know what I mean? I was young, I had ambitions, and I didn't understand how to implement in my ambitions into some of the things that might not get me in trouble. Right. Because trouble was easy. It's right outside my door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that...
I don't care. You could get it off 10,000 times.
That's what I was going to talk about. So I'm not even going to touch on that. I think you can get something off 10,000 times. You only got to get caught once. It's like playing basketball, right? Nobody 3-point percentage is 100%. Like Steph Curry,
greatest shooter of our time.
Greatest shooter. He's still at like 40%. So that means that out of 100 shots, he's going to miss 60 of them, right? out of 10 shots, he's going to miss 6, right? And 40% will get you in the Hall of Fame, right? In baseball, you only had to hit the ball 333% of the time. Like 33% of the time is your number. You can go to the Hall of Fame, your ERA. Your batting average, your ERA only had to be 33%. So you only got to do something 33% of the time. So you can fail at this 76%, right? What's that, 70 or 30?
77%.
77%. So you can fail at something 77% of the time and still go to the Hall of Fame by only doing something 33% of the time above average, right? So the moral of the story is that it's rigged against you. The financial ramifications, a lot of people can't stand it. A lot of people don't got lawyer money. I think retainer fees are currently at like 25,000, 30,000 right now, especially if you out here drilling. The moral of the story is that you can't afford it. So you got to know what you're getting into. Do your due diligence, right? Don't be impulsive and don't get out here to think that you're doing something other than somebody have done already. Because I know all the people that I grew up with, either if they're still in it, they're telling. That's just how it's going down. It's no secret about that. Because it's impossible for you to be doing something since you was 12 and you're 50 now. You're telling. Like you're telling.
You gotta work. You're working.
You're working, bro.
Throw some water on that nigga. He gonna catch on fire.
So the moral, that's just the moral. And then the next thing is, it's just not worth it. I feel like, I know situations kind of promote this sometimes, and I get that. But the thing is that if you do get jammed up and you're a youth, like you're a youth defender, when you turn 18, it's not going to be on your record. So what I'm gonna say is that if you go after it at a young age, you like, all right, well, this shit ain't for me. You turn 18, now you're obligated to, you can kind of possibly get something better, a job, entrepreneurship, whatever you're going to do. But whatever you're going to do, you just don't want to be in a situation where you give the streets 15 years of your life and not want to give entrepreneurship, college institution, doctrine.
Right. It ain't cool to go to jail.
It ain't cool because you can give the streets 25 years of your life. And
where you'll be at in 25 years of being legit, being a straight out, being an L7 and square. Like, so when you think about it in your head, like, okay, you out here, you spinning, I dig it. You get into a bag, I dig it. You're scamming, I dig it. I dig all that. I ain't against none of that. Do your thing. Don't get caught.
So in closing, wrap it up. What you going to talk about? What is it going to? I don't know. I think I gave it all to him.
It's up against you. It's up. I'm telling y'all it's up. You feel me? The people that's cheering for you is going to be the same motherfuckers carrying your casket or not pressing 5 when you call them.
That's major. Yeah, because...
You feel me?
Yeah.
That shorty that you messing with, that you getting all that drip for and all that shit like that.
She's out of there.
She out of there. Guess who she gonna be with? Cornball Jamal. She chilling with Fahim the Dream.
He played basketball. She like that nigga.
Well, yeah, and he slam dunking that little shit.
Yeah, that shit fat too. Hey, yo, but besides that, man, this is another episode of the Chippy and Mac Show. We love you guys. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button at the bottom.
It's up.
It's up when it's up.
And it's stuck.
And it's up and it's stuck. That's what they say, right? So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, obviously that Chip and Mac Show. And then also follow my guy, Chippy from the North. Just
underscores in between a word. You hear me?
Yes, sir. And you can also follow me, J.McDougal, and I'm your boy, Mac. And this is my guy, Chip. And this is another one in closing. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, take the top off on the road, don't check the time on my new rose gold. I ain't got it yet, but I'm just manifesting. I ain't got no time to chill with hoes, just getting ready for my shows. And in the studio, I pray for this shit a blessing.